harmless looking thing, isn't it? Hello, this is Colin. This is a tea bag. Of course, everybody who drinks tea at some point or another has had to settle for the tea bag when they're out and about. You know, it's sort of the second best. Better than nothing. Yes, it does have tea in it. I mean, I'm not, as you can tell, a huge fan of tea bags. I hate the way that they constrict the tea into this tiny little chamber, torture chamber. And the tea is not allowed to float or to, infuse. The area that the tea and the water contact is limited by the bag. It's just constricting, and I don't care for it. And it's not like we've been using tea bags forever. In fact, did you know that the tea bag came about by accident? Yes. See, for a long time, I'll be the first to admit that loose tea can be messy. I mean, you get tea all over the place, leftover dried tea. I keep finding it in odd corners of the kitchen. Anyway, so what they used to do is they used to pack the tea into these infusers, also known as tea balls. I don't know why it is, but somehow you can't really talk about tea these days without sounding rude. So yeah, here is a tea ball. See, it's on a chain that you put on the side of the pot, and oops. You see, you unscrew it, you put the tea in, and cap it off. I mean, in many ways, it's not actually that much of an improvement over the tea bag. It still constricts your tea, except, there's a little more space in there. Here's another design of tea ball where you can just scoop up the tea and put it into the pot. But about 1908, there was a New York tea merchant, Thomas Sullivan, who used to send out samples of his teas in silk bags. And it must have been kind of curious when he started getting feedback from his customers saying that, well, the mesh is too tight in these bags, because what people have been doing, they simply assumed that the bags were for dunking, were for use instead of a tea ball, which was not Sullivan's intention. But, knowing a good thing when he saw it, Sullivan increased the size of the holes in the mesh, and thus, by accident, invented the tea bag, which, it is more convenient, of course. And the tea bag became quite popular in the United States, and particularly about the time of the 1920s, but really took off in the 1940s, because of the convenience and whatnot. And originally it came in two sizes. There was a large tea bag for the pot, and the small cup-sized tea bag. As far as I know, nobody makes the teapot size tea bag anymore. It took longer to take off in Britain. It wasn't until like the 1950s when people were starting to get looking for convenience and ways to make their lives easier and quicker that it actually took off. And the original tea bags were in silk, and later on they became paper or some forms of plastic. So there we are. Just think, next time you are forced to have tea in a tea bag, just remember that it was just a mistake from the beginning. Cheers.